April the 7th, Isaiah 30:7. Their strength is to sit still. In order really to know God, inward stillness is absolutely necessary. I remember when I first learned this, a time of great emergency had risen in my life, when every part of my being seemed to throb with anxiety, and when the necessity for immediate and vigorous action seemed overpowering, and yet circumstances were such that I could do nothing, and the person who could would not stir. For a while it seemed as if I must fly to pieces with the inward turmoil, when suddenly the still small voice whispered in the depths of my soul, "Be still, and know that I am God." The word was with power, and I hearkened. I composed my body to perfect stillness, and I constrained my troubled spirit into quietness, and looked up and waited. And then I did know that it was God. God, even in the very emergency and in my helplessness to meet it. And I rested in Him. It was an experience that I would not have missed for worlds. And I may add also that out of this stillness seemed to arise a power to deal with the emergency that very soon brought it to a successful issue. I learned then effectively that my strength was to sit still. There's a perfect passivity which is not indolence. It's a living stillness born of trust. Quiet tension is not trust. It's simply compressed anxiety. Not in the tumult of the rending storm, not in the earthquake or devouring flame, but in the hush that could all fear transform, the still, small whisper to the prophet came. O soul, keep silence on the mount of God. Though cares and needs throb round thee like a sea, from supplications and desires unshod, be still, and hear what God shall say to thee. All fellowship hath interludes of rest, new strength maturing in each poise of power. The sweetest alleluias of the blessed are silent for the space of half an hour. O rest and utter quietude of soul! Abandon words. Leave prayer and praise a while. Let thy whole being, hushed in His control, learn the full meaning of His voice and smile. Not as an athlete wrestling for a crown, nor taking heaven by violence of will, but with thy Father as a child, sit down and know the bliss that follows His "Be still."